to a lover's tune. A Queens boy wakes with a neon smile. Truckers' hands are rough mile after mile. Oh, the highway's alive with the fever and heat. Bronco ride wild where the rhythms meet. Latino fire meets the cowboy's pride. Sweat on the leather, no brakes, no height. Steel horse idle in shadows collide. Boy climbs up, let the engine decide. Thunder rolling, DQ shifting, groan.
Yo, what's up, everybody? No, I don't even know what day it is anymore. But I'm at the TA in Binghamton, New York, doing a 34. For those of you who don't know, a 34 is a mandatory break that truck drivers have to take every now and again. So I figured I'd sit here, you know, make a couple YouTube videos. Hell, I might even make a OnlyFans video. But I opened up with this video because, yeah, I mean, it's shocking just seeing it. But I mean, I want to talk about it a little bit. I'll talk about it later towards the end of the video. But I just kind of wanted to talk about how we make our money. You know, because that is the important thing. I mean, I don't do this for free. I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm doing it for free, but I don't do it for free. So I'm going to go into it a little bit. I'm going to show you how we find loads and how we figure out how much money we're going to make off a load after expenses. So I'm gonna try and like do it completely different. Like, I'm gonna try and like show you the actual load board, and you know, we'll find the load and we'll talk about it. And you know, let me get you back to the sleeper. All right, so I wanted to kind of do this with the screen behind me, but I'm not getting a good picture, or at least it's not getting a good picture with this camera. So I'm going to try and do a picture-in-picture. I'm going to try and put my computer screen onto it. Board. So we're currently in Binghamton. So let's, oh, it's right there. So let's look for a load out of here. Delivery, where do we want to go? Where do we want to take our truck? That sometimes you got specific destinations, other times you don't. Trailer type, that is important. You got to know what kind of trailer you're pulling. As you can see, there's so many different kinds. We're running a dry van, so we're going to click that. I want to leave tomorrow. I could pick, you know, day frames if I want to go on or around this week. Let's find a load for this week. But no, I want to load tomorrow. So let's hit search, see what we find. So as you can see, there's a couple decent loads here. Okay, these are not decent. These are recommended loads, but let's short these out a little bit. Find out what the highest price is. Highest price load. Because money. Do you like money? Ooh. Look at that. $3,400 for this load to California. Too bad it is not worth it. And I'll tell you why it's not worth it. Right here, down here, you see in the green, this number right here, this $1.35, that is the rate per mile. Like, how much am I going to make for every mile I drive? That is important because trucks cost money. And when you're running a trucking business, you got to know how much money it costs to run your truck. Now my truck, it cost me about $1.60 a mile to drive this thing. So that is my bare minimum. So this is going to cost me more money. I'm going to pay money to run this load. So let's go back up here. Let's try and set our parameters a little better. All right, 150 miles. This is 150 miles from the pickup location. So we got Binghamton. So it's going to do a 150 mile radius around Binghamton. Same thing with delivery location, but we didn't pick a delivery location when we're going anywhere. Brokers. This is a list of a lot of brokers, different ones. See, a lot of truck drivers only work with certain brokers, and I don't blame them because a lot of brokers are thieves and crooks. So let's see. Requirements. A lot of brokers require certain requirements, like team drivers, which is 2 drivers, 1 truck. Got to have a tanker endorsement, or it's a drop trailer or hazmat. Price. Let's wiggle around this price a little bit. What is our minimum going to be? Let's move this over a little bit to about 800. Now, go back to the rate per mile. As I was telling you earlier, this truck costs money. So the minimum to run this truck is $1.60 a mile. But again, we're driving this truck to make money, not break even. So we're going to set this at $1.90 a mile. Come on, girl. Come on, get in there. All right. Weight. Does your truck have weight limits? We don't. Trailer length, we have a 53 foot, so let's drag this over to 53. Right there. And search button again. Let it refresh. Alright, that looks a little better. It didn't change anything. Why did it not change? Oh, why did that reset down to 1? For some reason, this website doesn't always work right, but we'll work around this problem. Rate per mile. Let's go with the highest rate per mile. So we have. So here we go. Let's find a decent load to haul. Ooh, C.H. Robinson's got a load going from PA. Let's click on that. Let's talk about this load. Alright, so deadhead miles is 78, which means it's about an hour away from me, this load. So that's good. I mean, I don't want to drive 500 miles just to get a really good paying load. It makes no sense. So find good paying loads close to where you are. And up here you can kind of see on the map where this load is going. the rate per mile, how many miles. This was posted 13 minutes ago. Niagara bottling plant. So most likely it's going to be bottled water, bottled fluids, bottled soda. So we already talked about a lot of these. This is important to know right here. It is 44,000 pounds. You have to know your weights when you're driving. So semi-tractor trailers have a 80,000 pound weight limit. Anything heavier, then we have to have a special permits. Now, the 80,000 pound weight limit, that is for the truck, the trailer, and the cargo, all combined. So my truck and trailer empty weighs about 33,000 pounds. So you put 44,000 pounds on that. That's going to bring it up to about 70, let's say 78,000 pounds. So we're 2,000 pounds under the limit. So we're good there. Contact information for the broker. Now backhaul. Say we want to come back to Binghamton. This is the closest load to take us back to Binghamton, right here. And as you can see, it's pretty decent actually. And it gives you all the same information. Now, we don't want to go back to Binghamton. We want to go, where is it? Let's find out what other loads are going to other places. So let's close that out. Let's look. So again, looking at here, there are some pretty decent looking loads going out. Because you always want to plan ahead. Where is the next load going to take you? You do not want to go into a location that is just a dead market. Because you're going to be, all that money you made, you're just going to be wasting that on fuel just to get out. So, as you can see, the only load that's paying somewhat decent is to Deerfield, Florida. And Deerfield, Florida is a horrible location. Florida in itself is horrible when it comes to freight. You got great loads going in, but nothing coming out. So again, looking at the loads leaving this location, I would pass up on this load, even though it is paying pretty decent. So I would go back here and I would look for a different load. Another thing, as you work more and more with the spot market, it gets pretty easy to figure out what areas are good to go to, what areas are traditionally horrible. So there you go. That is how we find our loads. Alright, so I said I would talk about the opening video. I was driving down the highway probably about 1 a.m. when I came across that. And a lot of questions people ask is, how does a trailer catch on fire like that? Well, there's a couple of ways. Most common trailer fires, usually you start off at the tires. More specifically the brakes, because you got to think, like, brakes work with friction. You have like this stone that presses against the brake drum, and by applying the pressure, you stop. That's how a vehicle stops. Now, obviously, the bigger the vehicle, the heavier the vehicle, the more stopping power it's going to need. So, the more pressure is applied, the more heat is generated. And those drums can get hot enough where they catch the tire on fire. It's not common, but it does happen. But this specific fire, driving past it, to me it looked like the fire started inside the trailer, which means that something inside the trailer caught fire while he was driving. Again, it's a question: what was he hauling? Because for me, I have trouble believing that it came from the brakes. Especially, it was kind of cool out. It was at the top of a hill, so he wasn't applying brake pressure because he was climbing, and it was raining. So I'm guessing that fire started off from his cargo, whatever he was hauling. Chances are he was probably hauling batteries or something electrical, something corrosive, or even something flammable that just sparked. It could have happened. But by the looks of it, that driver did the smart thing. Like, for me, if I ever see or notice that my trailer is on fire, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and disconnect from it. Like I won't even bother with the landing gears. I'll just pop the brakes, pull my pan, disconnect the hoses, and just drive out from under it. Let that trailer drop right on the ground. Because for a truck to catch on fire, it's a lot worse. And by the looks of the video, that's exactly what he did. So I don't know if he did it before or after the fire department showed up, but he saved his cab by doing that. And by looking at that trailer, that trailer was gone. So it is interesting to see. It's tragic, it's scary as hell having that happen to you. And I hope that driver's okay.
Teaser the ear homes beneath the moon. Kenworth wheels spin to a lover's tune. A Queens boy wakes with a neon smile. Truckers' hands are rough mile after mile. Oh, the highway's alive with a fever and heat. Bronco ride wild where the rhythms meet. Latino flyer meets a cowboy's pride. Sweat on the leather, no brakes, no height. Steel horse idle in shadows collide. Boy climbs up, let the engine decide. Thunder rolling deep, you shifting, growing.